Welcome back to EpistemiX. I have a very special guest on the show today, Mohsin, aka Mr. Dawa Digital. How are you, bro? How's things?
Alhamdulillah, bro.
Good. Alhamdulillah. What does that mean? So just for our audience that doesn't...
Arabism.
Doesn't...
Okay, so Alhamdulillah means all praise is due solely for Allah, the one
Absolutely.
God.
All thanks and praise belongs to God alone. Brilliant. So Mohsin, today's topic, we have about 15-20 minutes. I want to keep it short and succinct as best as we can.
15-20 minutes.
15-20 minutes. That's the target, right?
You give me 15-20 minutes.
I'm giving myself 15-20 minutes.
You're crazy, bro.
The topic we're going to cover today is, what does life mean in the absence of God? Now look, bro, normally when we engage, when we do these videos...
What does life mean in the absence of God?
Yes. Now look, bro, normally when we engage with people, it's always on a rational front. Come on, I need you to focus with me now.
I'm focusing,
I need you to focus
bro.
with me. I need you to look at me in the eyes and focus.
I'll tell you why I look like that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine life
without God. Yeah.
With the absence of... Because for me...
So,
anyway,
it's good for us to go on this journey.
For me, that's for me.
It's good for you to go on this journey as well.
Yeah,
so you can probably... Next time you speak to an atheist, you can probably appreciate this, right?
I always do.
You always do, that's true.
Yeah,
but you may develop a new elevated level of appreciation.
Inshallah, let's see.
God willing,
which means God willing, by the way. Yeah.
So, point is, normally when we engage with atheists, we always share arguments, have a rational discussion, philosophical back and forths, X, Y, and Z. But I think what's really important and what really matters to people is how things really affect their personal lives and them, right? Now, what I want to talk about is the implications of atheism. And what I mean by this is whenever you adopt a worldview, say you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, you're an atheist, it will come with certain implications, right? So when you adopt atheism and by extension naturalism, this sort of hardline version of atheism, which is that there's nothing beyond the physical, it's all matter, it's all physical, and it's all random, there is no God, there is no creator, there is no intentionality behind all of this. Everything therefore is an accidental byproduct of just random happenings which have been taking place over millions and millions of years. Then the follow through of this, the implications of this are that there is no meaning to life. There is no purpose, there is no value, there is no true happiness, there is no ultimate justice.
Quite a bleak outlook, isn't it?
It's a very dark place to be.
It's quite
right.
And depressing just to think of it like that.
But do you understand why that would be the case? That's the first point.
Absolutely. Yeah? But here's the thing.
So why don't you just run it past me now? Why would you think that's the case?
I think academically that may be the case. But here's the thing now, Imran. You know, with your average atheist, now, before I even go there, I just want to say, look, we as Muslims, we're just as much in danger of typifying the other.
Yes.
As they are of typifying us. And I think we have something in common with the atheists here in that regard, which is that, you see, the media paints Muslims in a polarity, and that polarity suggests that we're all, hardline extremists.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reality is the opposite. Yeah. We're a very peaceful people. We've contributed so much to different societies around the world. I can go on about how, the modern West, secular West, owes a debt of gratitude to the Muslim world, etc., etc. I'm not going to go down that route.
Maybe for another show.
It's a good topic. The point is that, look, they've taken a tiny fraction of a percent.
Yeah.
An insignificant fraction of a percentage of Muslims and are now saying these are Muslims in general.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I believe that Muslims...
That's generally done.
Yeah.
But
we do this ourselves as Muslims. We look at atheists and we think, right, they're all like this.
Yes.
And the truth could, and the truth is actually unlike that. Very, like loads... I've probably messed that sentence up here because I'm so passionate about this.
We have a principle on the show, it's one take. So
one take, bro. So if you see me mess up in my language skills, I do speak many languages, yeah. So don't hold me on my English, right?
Okay.
Yeah, like Gujarati.
Let's not even begin to go down that track. Let's just stay where we are and carry on.
Don't.
I think we've got probably 12.5 minutes.
All right, so let's get on with it. Right. Okay. So here's the thing. Muslims, we typify atheists.
Yes.
Now, I know atheists. I've got atheist friends who I grew up with from nursery time. We went to the same primary, same secondary, same college even, right? And I've had, obviously being on a dawah scene, I try to have conversations with them when I see them, right? About, their position as atheists and my position as a Muslim, And they appreciate me being a Muslim because they know that it makes me a better person.
Yeah.
Whether I can say the same for them.
Yeah.
You'd think it would be different. You'd think like it probably doesn't make them a better person. But that's subjective, right? For them at least. Now, the thing is here, Imran, is that a lot of them they have the same aspirations
Yes.
as we do.
Yes.
Yeah, to be fed, to be clothed, to have good jobs,
Yeah. To be just.
to be just.
moral.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
right. And mostly they don't even think about the academic stuff. Like for
Yeah.
example, we all come from blind, random, dead physical processes, and the Darwinism and naturalism
Yeah.
and the hardline right of this sort of movement.
Yeah.
They don't care about it. They don't
Yeah.
care about the Sam Harrises. They don't care about the Richard Dawkins, the
Dan
Lawrence
Dennis,
Krauses, etc. They don't really.
Yeah.
Most of them don't even know their names,
Yeah.
right? Their position is simple.
Yeah.
I'm an atheist because I haven't seen God. And I think
Yeah.
for them, the understanding of God needs a lot of work.
There will be some atheists amongst them that won't even say that, to be honest. They
Yeah.
just don't think about it.
Yeah.
There will be others there will know the individuals like Richard Dawkins and Sam Harris and so on and so forth, but they will disagree with them strongly, right? They will say that they don't represent atheists.
Yeah.
But I think what's important, what we're trying to highlight here, bro, is that majority of people that associate themselves with atheism or call themselves atheists or agnostics or just non-spiritual
I
people.
would actually suggest that they might call themselves atheists, but
Yeah.
in reality,
Yeah.
they're actually agnostics.
Well, yeah.
And I think this show is for them.
But I think what I would say is majority of these people, whether they call them agnostic or atheists, whatever label they go
you wanna
by,
give them, yeah.
they are just simple, nice, humble, good people
Yeah, good.
looking for the truth,
Yeah, yeah.
trying to figure out life, trying to live a good life, right? And that's them, right? And unfortunately, they get left out when it comes to the whole discussion between atheists and Muslims, and there's these dialogues, because normally when we address atheists, we are addressing the Sam Harrises and the Lawrence Krauses and the Dawkins and X, Y, and Z. But they get left out. But why? And this was my intention behind this whole project, right? That we address these people. And on top of this is that we sort of highlight some things to them that they may not be aware of. And that's what I'm trying to do in this particular show, is that what does it mean? Because for these people, like with everyone else, it's what things mean to you in your personal life, how things impact you. So when you take the label of an atheist, you take the label of an agnostic, you take the label of a naturalist, you're adopting a worldview. This comes with implications. And the thing I wanted to point out in this show is that the implications, if you follow through logically with these worldviews, is that everything is an accident.
Yeah.
Everything's an accident. And bro, what does that mean? That means your life is an accident. And everything about your life is an accident. That means there is no purpose. There is no value. There is no meaning. There is no ultimate true happiness.
Yeah.
There is no ultimate justice. There's nothing.
Yeah, so in short, if you follow through with this worldview,
Yeah.
right, you end up in a very bleak, depressive, kind of dark place,
Yeah.
right, which kind of leaves you feeling a little bit
And
empty.
bro, there's two options really. If it boils down
if
to
I'm right,
Yeah.
one's nihilism.
No, before we that's a part of the first option, right? So
Okay, go on.
the first option is, if you follow through and you accept this, you say that's fine. I'm okay with what atheism and naturalism entails, right?
Yeah.
If you follow through with this, then yes, I would say that the only real position you end up with is a nihilist position,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is that nothing has any meaning or purpose.
Yeah.
Nothing's worthwhile, right?
Yeah.
It's just all an accident, right? It's all chaos. It's all random, right? Or you will be an absurdist,
Yeah.
right?
Now, you need to explain what absurd is, because everyone knows what most people
These
know
are
what
technical
nihilism
terms, but
is. Yeah, but I mean,
so here's the two positions.
most people won't know what an absurdist is.
Okay, so just to summarize, you would either be someone who recognizes that there's no meaning or purpose to life. It's all random. It's all an accident. That's the nihilist position, generally
Mhm,
speaking.
mhm.
And the other opposite, the absurdist position would be, yes, that nihilist position is correct, but we're going to keep looking for meaning and purpose. So that's the absurdity, that there's no meaning or purpose, yet you keep looking for it, right?
It's a bit of a problem, isn't it?
problem.
Epistemically.
So
It's
that's
a big
that's
problem.
option one,
Yeah.
is those two options. You'll end up
Yeah.
in those two places.
Yeah.
The second option is you say, you know what? There is more to me. There is more to my life. I do have value. I do have meaning. I do have purpose, right? And then you recognize that you have these things, but then you say, you know what? Maybe my worldview is wrong. Maybe I've adopted the wrong worldview. Maybe I haven't thought about it properly. And I've just accepted it. But maybe I need to revisit that and change my position, right? So those are the two options you have.
It's very brave when somebody does that, when
Yeah,
they're willing to
absolutely.
question what they believe and to test whether that belief is true
Yeah,
or not.
yeah,
And if they find a doubt that it might not be true,
yeah,
for them to entertain the idea
Yeah.
that there might be a better truth out there,
yeah,
right? Or a truth out there that they can at least, investigate.
Yeah.
And that gives them a little bit of purpose at that point in life. Because
but you know what's interesting? I would say the opposite position is quite brave too. To say, I'm going to follow through. Life has no meaning. I have no meaning. I have no purpose. But I'm brave enough to deal with that.
There's a thin line between bravery and stupidity.
That's the point of discussion in itself.
Whether it's brave or stupid, that remains.
That you need to take up with Richard Dawkins, not with me, because that's his particular. But that's what he pushes. Like
I'd share a table with him.
Yeah.
As a human being, But if he wants to discuss stuff, I'm saying, you know what? I'm just not interested.
Yeah. Because
I know all he wants to do is shoot stuff down. Shoot me down.
Well, he has an agenda, and like we said, there's examples on Dawa Digital where we spoke to an atheist in Speaker's Corner, and he said very clearly, look, Richard Dawkins is not a representation of atheists. He does not represent atheists.
The majority of atheists. That's right. Mustafa, right?
Yeah,
lovely chap, man. I think you've done about 3 or 4 videos.
And maybe more, bro, because it's stuff. It's conversations like this that are worthwhile. But I think going back to the point, just to summarize, the reason another reason I really wanted to touch upon this is because some people watching may be thinking, well, here's a Muslim guy. Why are you talking about the implications of atheism?
I was actually just literally about a minute ago, I thought to myself, what makes you so qualified?
And why do you keep talking about it? Because this is what I've been banging on about in most of my videos, right? It's to do with this topic. It's the implications of atheism or naturalism, to be more particular.
I feel like you've got an admission to make here, bro.
Well, yeah, not an admission. And I think it's important to point this out is that what I believe gives me some credibility to speak about this topic is because I've experienced this myself.
Wait, hold on.
Let's dramatize
this
moment.
Pin drop silence here.
Dramatizing the moment.
Yeah, we've got to do this. You've got to do it right? So are you suggesting, or even trying to tell me, that once upon a time in your life, you was an atheist?
You're a bit of a storyteller type, aren't you? You like to just
answer the question, man.
No, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say I was an atheist.
Okay.
But I would say I was at a point in my life where I was an agnostic. I wasn't concerned. God exists, doesn't exist. It wasn't a concern to me. I wouldn't deny God, but I wouldn't really affirm God.
Can I just stop you there quickly? Yeah. It's really interesting you say that you wasn't an atheist, you was an agnostic, because
maybe if I was to label myself,
a lot of the atheists who I know, right, who I grew up with, call themselves atheists, but I believe they're agnostics because they said exactly the same thing that you say right now. Yeah,
and I got to the point in my life where I started to think about these things, and I realized, look, I'm living, I'm alive, I can see things, I'm conscious, but what's the purpose? Why am I here? I got to the point where I would wake up in the morning, I wouldn't want to brush my teeth because what's the purpose? I'm going to die anyway. I'm going to become worm's meat. Right, this physical flesh and bone is just gonna pass away. And I would think about things like, what is me? What is this me, other than just the brain, right? And these are really dark places to be in yourself. I would walk past on the high street butchers, and I would look inside through the window and I'd see meat hanging in the window, and this thought would occur to me: what's the difference between that and me? That's deep. Flesh and bone.
That's quite deep for an agnostic to think like that, because most agnostics don't care. What made you go?
But I would.
How did you go from being somebody who didn't care about asking the big questions to now suddenly having this big moment where you're comparing yourself to a slab of meat in a butcher's window?
Yeah, it's one thing. It's like a trickle effect, right? Once you get into that thinking, it goes. And I would slightly disagree with the point that most agnostics don't think like this. I think what happens is most agnostics and atheists think about this. Most do, but what happens is some are good at brushing it away and just getting on with life. And there's enough distractions in life these days anyway.
Yeah,
right?
This day and age
that's
is
another
full of
topic in
distractions.
itself, right?
Wow, that's a whole
that's
absolutely.
another topic. But I think some are good at brushing it under the carpet.
Yeah.
But others, just because of their personality, they just can't let go. It's just so pressing, they need to find answers, and it leads to depression and anxiety and existential crisis. Right? Now, what interests me, bro, is I believe this is a sign that atheism is not true, and I'll tell you why. Because if you follow through with atheism, most atheists would adopt the evolutionary explanation to life, particularly Darwinism, which dictates that life is about survival and reproduction, full stop. Those are two main drivers, right? If life and everything about life and you and everything about you is about survival and reproduction, then why would you end up with abilities and faculties which lead you to question things about life, meaning and purpose, which when questioned on atheism or naturalism lead to depression and anxiety? And in turn, turn you away from survival and reproduction. Because when you're depressed, bro, you're not thinking about, when you're truly depressed in a deep depression and anxiety, you're not thinking about survival and reproduction, right? You're not even thinking about eating. You don't care, right? So that, for me, alarm bells, right? Alarm bells. It's almost like There's things that are placed within us to make us recognize, hold on, we're going off track. We need to realign ourselves. That's not true. Maybe something else is, right? Maybe the truth lies somewhere else. I need to keep searching, right? And I would say, now, it may be a jump for something. This is a blessing from God. We can discuss this in other videos, that God has put certain markers.
It's a bit of a leap of faith there, right?
Of course.
For your average atheist.
Sure.
Or even agnostic.
But just to finish the point, I think I really believe God has placed markers within every single human being, that when they veer off the purpose of their existence, alarm bells go off. Oh, that doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Anxiety, depression. Oh, that's and that is a sign for us. It's like something in your heart just slamming you with a sledgehammer, right? It's a painful experience to go through. Anyone that's gone through it or experienced it. And that's those are
it's interesting. In Mustafa's case, it turned him away from religion.
Yes, but what turned him away from religion?
His experiences, right?
Yeah, but he
had bad experiences.
Yeah, so this is this, and you know what's interesting?
And the thing is, the interesting thing is, his experiences had nothing to do with religion.
Yeah.
It was to do with something completely
personal.
Yeah, personal. Yeah.
And but that's more tying in the problem of evil, which we'll touch upon in a different episode. Right?
Okay, cool.
Because normally, what happens if you look at philosophers, they fell into two camps. They would almost be like, okay, if there is a God, right, they'll be like, well, why is there so much evil and suffering? Some of these atheist type philosophers, they will say, why is there so much evil and suffering and chaos? God must be evil. Well, therefore, God must not exist. But then we run into this absurdity of life where nothing makes sense or there's no meaning anymore. It's a very interesting type of seesaw type of thing, one or the other. But again, another discussion for another time. But just to summarize and conclude, I think what's important is that, that for the average atheist that's out there, that's questioning, that's looking for answers, that's going through these existential questions and maybe there's this crisis, is to continue searching and looking, maybe reassess their worldview that they've adopted, right? And I'm sure they will find a lot in these future shows and upcoming shows which will give them a lot of food for thought as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're Muslim and we're going to present the Islamic paradigm, which we believe is the truth, and the truth of which we will establish in future episodes. But that's for later. Yeah. But yeah, anything you want to say to conclude?
I just want to say, look, I'm going to show this video.
Yeah.
They're going to laugh their heads off at seeing me on a screen, right? Because I always say, right?
Yeah.
I belong behind the cameras, right?
Yeah.
Like, and in front of the cameras, behind the cameras, I'm Superman, right? I really am, right? That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like I know what I'm doing. I'm confident, X, Y, Z, yeah? But in front of the cameras, I'm not even Clark Kent. I'm Lois Lane, mate. I need saving, yeah? So for them to see me in front of a camera, they're going to laugh their heads off. But having said all that, pull that aside. That's a little bit of fun stuff here, yeah? What can you give my friends, right? My atheist friends who are going to watch this as a starting point for them to start to look a bit deeper? What do you recommend they watch or read, or, where do they go now?
First thing I would say anyone needs to do is acknowledge and recognize that.
Wait, is this a leap of faith?
No, not necessarily, bro.
Okay,
because, intuition is a real thing. Even in academia, it's a big thing, right? And
really?
I'm going to get Hamza to do a top. He's actually spoken to us.
Intuition is justified through academia.
No, not. I want to say justified, but it's recognized.
So they fall back on that. They fall back on intuition as an explanation for certain things, certain ideas.
Yeah.
Epistemically, that sounds a bit weird.
All will be revealed in the future episode soon, hopefully with Hamza, because he's mentioned this before. But the key thing is,
that's just really strange to me.
Sure, but the key thing is human beings. Right, we always go off intuition, right? We always go off how things feel. We're we're not really rational creatures to the extent that we think we are, and the paradigms that were created in the world that we live in today. Yeah, it's all about empiricism, X, Y, and Z.
Which is why, because when the claim to rationality comes from the science, the scientific community at large, you'd think that they'd employ rationalism.
Look, case in point, bro. You can have the same data. Two different scientists look at the same data.
And
they come up with two different conclusions.
Because induction, right?
What's going? No, not even that. It's what's going on
subjective
there. There is a
induction.
Bias there.
Yeah,
there is a position.
No.
But another topic. I think going back to the point without turning it to another episode in this particular episode.
We've covered topics here that can branch off into many different episodes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. But I think what I'm saying is that
I've given you material.
When you
I want you to recognize that I've given you material.
Mohsen Mastan has given me things to talk about. Brilliant. May God bless you for that, bro.
Thank you.
Going back to the
I'll
point about your friends, is that if they feel and recognize deep inside something isn't adding up, there's this cognitive dissonance, there's this agitation.
I just want to change the sorry.
There is this agitation inside them. If they recognize that there's this agitation inside them, right? Yep. They recognize this. Take it as a sign to, at the very least, look beyond the position that they hold and keep exploring, right? Because the human being is looking for balance, right? We're all looking for balance.
Yeah.
If you're not in equilibrium, if you're not in that balance, then it's time to keep searching and keep looking, right? And I'll leave it at that for this particular episode, and keep watching the shows. Hopefully you'll find something beneficial too. Any last words?
Yeah, bro, I can't believe I've done this, but thank you, alhamdulillah. Thank you for sharing your story with me and everyone else.
Yeah.
And I'm really pleased we've done this because, you know, a lot of times, like I mentioned in the beginning of this episode, is that we tend to typify the other.
Yeah.
And here I think we've done the opposite. We've given them a voice and a way for them to look into, you know,
hopefully
their choices and the reasons behind them.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great name for a show, by the way, EpistemiX.
Yeah. And once again, thanks to anyway, okay, we'll leave it at that. Okay, so guys, thank you for watching. You know, hopefully you guys have found this beneficial. Make sure to subscribe, click the notification bell. Also, leave in the comments any suggestions that you like, or of topics that you'd like to see us cover. Until next time, take care.